Okay, it's Mike Aronoff with Canoe, Kayak and Paddle Company, American Canoe Association instructor trainer. We're here talking about recreational kayaking. It means different things to different people. This kayak is what we're going to go over in just a minute, and people use that for fitness because it's a great form of physical exercise outside. Guys use it for photography. Some people use it for fishing. Most people just use it to get to places that you couldn't get to any other way. And I think the big overriding factor of the whole thing is that it's fun. So let's start out from the front of this boat. The front of any boat, including the kayak, is called the bow. This is a carrying toggle. This is used, you've got a friend and yourself to pick up each end of the kayak. The top of the kayak is called the deck. So the whole top area is called the deck. Let me turn it over for you a little bit. As you come back along the deck, you come to this. This is a hatch cover, and a hatch cover, not surprisingly, covers a hatch. This is an area where you could store gear and material. A lot of people would use this type of kayak for an overnight or maybe even a weekend trip. Most, however, are just out for a day trip, but it's where you can carry anything, sweaters, gear, clothes, food, etc. Coming back along the deck, you have bungee cords. Bungee cords are stretchy cords that you could put anything under. You could put a sweater or a anorak under it. You could put your lunch under it. You could put a spare paddle under it. These are stretchy. These cords are not stretchy, and we call them safety lines. This kayak is made out of roto-molded plastic. Roto-molded plastic, and nearly everything else kayaks are made out of, is slippery. They're not just slippery when they're dry, they're even more slippery when they're wet. So having this hard line to grab onto is a valuable and important safety feature. Not all boats have it, but we do. You come back to the center of the boat. This area is where the paddler sits, and it's called a cockpit, as in like an airplane cockpit. It has the seat. Pretty obvious what goes down there. It has a backrest, which fits against the small of your back, giving you support. Incidentally, this backrest is adjustable, and it should be adjusted so that you are sitting up straight, as you would be if you were in your kitchen chair. These pieces are called thigh braces. We'll look at sitting in the boat shortly, but these are to brace against your thighs to give you contact with the kayak. This whole area around the cockpit is called the cockpit coaming. And the cockpit coaming is where you attach your spray skirt if you wear one. We'll talk about that some more, and many people paddling these types of boats don't wear spray skirts at all because they don't need to. Moving back, we've got more bungee cords, we've got more safety line, and we've got more hatches and hatch covers. One point I want to make before we go too far is that in here there is a wall. A wall inside a boat is called a bulkhead. And this is makes this into a watertight compartment from here all the way back. And there's another bulkhead or wall here that makes it a watertight compartment from there forward. This is very important. Obviously, it's a place where you can carry your gear and supplies and keep them pretty dry. Not perfectly dry, but the bigger thing is that it provides inherent flotation. So if the boat's capsized or even full of water, it's still going to float because it has many cubic feet of air. It'll even float with the paddler in it. Again, a huge safety feature. Coming back to the end of the boat, the back end of any boat is called the stern. So we've got a bow, a deck on top, a cockpit in the middle, deck on the back, hatches, a stern, and a stern carrying toggle. Everything on the top is called a deck. Everything on the bottom, from this midpoint down and around the kayak, is called the hull. The hull is the part that's going to be floating on the water, hopefully, not the deck. Because of that, it's got design features. And so perhaps you can see that there's a line that runs all the way down the kayak back to here, and that's generally referred to as a keel line. And that helps these types of kayaks go straight, which are called tracking. To track means to go straight. This thing that looks like a fin back here also aids in that tracking. So here we've got it. Front, bow, deck, hatches, cockpit, deck, stern, bottom of the boat as the hull, and that's our kayak that we're going to be using today.